So city said this program is for the bad landlords, not for the good landlords. Good landlords will not be punished.
In the first January versions, there was a financial burden because there was a criminal check certificate was asked from the landlords, and landlords were forced to get the re-inspections done by the electrical technicians and the gas technicians, which will be the cost on the landlord.
The legal basement, there should be 100% legal basements, apartments in the city of Brampton.
We are not advocating the illegal suites, and we want that only the Brampton should be the safe and with the health and safety standards. When you are calling it a business, it's not a true business. It is a living accommodation. City, first of all, they cannot come without notice unless there is any life-threatening emergencies, right? We are not supporting the overcrowding. Personally, when we are speaking it and we are in the protest who are against this Rrlp, 99% of the landlords who never support the overcrowding. Personally, I was saying that this is a political stunt and that is played at the right time and to mislead the Brampton resident.
So why don't we sit across the tables, talk to the councillors, talk to the city instead of protesting in the parks or roads? Why don't we can go that way too?
We are the law-abiding citizens of Brampton. We don't support overcrowding. We don't support littering on our house, our premises or in the street. We don't want to compromise the property standards. This program is not going anywhere. When you are saying this program is not going anywhere, it means that you don't want to talk. You don't want to compromise. You don't want to listen to the concern of the people.
City of Brampton ने 1 जनवरी 2024 ਤੋਂ RRL ਪ੍ਰੋਗਰਾਮ ਕੁਝ ਵਾਰਡਸ ਚ 5 ਵਾਰਡਾਂ ਚ ਪਾਇਲਟ ਪ੍ਰੋਗਰਾਮ ਚਲਾਇਆ। ਉਹਦੇ ਤੇ ਪੈਟੀਸ਼ਨ ਵੀ ਆਈ ਹੈ ਔਰ ਕਾਫੀ ਰੈਜ਼ੀਡੈਂਟਸ ਉਹਦੇ ਤੇ ਪ੍ਰੋਟੈਸਟ ਵੀ ਕਰ ਰਹੇ ਹੈ ਕਿ RRL ਜਿਹੜਾ ਹੈ ਪ੍ਰੋਗਰਾਮ ਠੀਕ ਨਹੀਂ, ਕਿਉਂਕਿ ਜਦ ਆਲਰੇਡੀ ਬਾਈ ਲਾਅ ਐਗਜ਼ਿਸਟ ਕਰਦੇ ਹੈ। ਇਹਦੇ ਉੱਪਰ ਸਿਟੀ ਦਾ ਵੀ ਵਰਜਨ ਸੀਗਾ ਜਿੱਥੇ ਮੇਅਰ ਬਰਾਊਨ ਨਾਲ ਵੀ ਗੱਲਬਾਤ ਕੀਤੀ। ਉਹ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਕਿ ਦਿਸ ਇਜ਼ ਫॉर ਬੈਡ ਲੈਂਡਲॉर्ड्स ਨਾਟ ਦ ਗੁੱਡ ਲੈਂਡਲॉर्ड्स। ਸੋ ਇਹਦਾ ਸਾਰਾ ਜੋ ਹਿਸਾਬ ਕਿਤਾਬ ਹੈ ਉਹਦੇ ਤੇ ਪੈਟੀਸ਼ਨ ਵੀ ਆਈ ਹੈ। ਸਾਡੇ ਨਾਲ ਸਟੂਡੀਓ 'ਚ ਜਿਨ੍ਹਾਂ ਨੇ ਪੈਟੀਸ਼ਨਰਸ ਹੈ ਉਹ ਮੌਜੂਦ ਹੈ। ਗੱਲਬਾਤ ਕਰਾਂਗੇ ਪ੍ਰੋਜ਼ ਐਂਡ ਕੌਨਸ, ਕੀ ਆ ਪ੍ਰੋਗਰਾਮ ਠੀਕ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਗਲਤ है या ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੀ ਮੰਗਾਂ ਕੀ है। सो वेलकम बोथ ऑफ यू।
थैंक यू नितिन जी, और प्राइम एशिया टीवी के जितने भी दर्शक हैं सबको मेरी तरफ से प्यार भरा नमस्कार, सत श्री अकाल, आदाब।
Ravi ji, if I start with you, because RRL is important for the residents of Brampton. So city said this program is for the bad landlords, not for the good landlords. Good landlords will not be punished. So why there is a petition? Because the status, if we say now as of today, the status is it's on halt. So city temporarily halted this program. So why this petition?
Okay, so it's a very good question. So if we are looking for the current version of this program, so this program, as you said, that it's on halt, so it's already paused. Not halt, it's paused. So in that case is that because we don't know what the current version is, because if we are commenting it, we will be commenting on because how it was launched on the 1st of the January. When we launched that original petitions on the 9th of January, that's on the base of that, what was the structures into the 1st January. In the 1st January versions, there was a financial burden because there was a criminal check certificate was asked from the landlords, and landlords were forced to get the re-inspections done by the electrical technicians and the gas technicians, which will be the cost on the landlord. That's a financial burdens. And also there was a laundry list of the requirements as part of the applications, and there was no segregation between the legal units and the illegal units, because I am the owner of the legal dwellings, because my all units are fully compliant.
So you advocate the legal basement. There should be 100% legal basements, apartments in the city of Brampton.
Oh, see, I mean, my stand is very clear, because at the various front, because we have very much clear with that, we are not advocating the illegal suites, and we want that only the Brampton should be the safe and with the health and safety standards, because from the day one, it's even itself, we have mentioned into our petition itself, we are only speaking, we are taking the voice of the legal apartments, because when the people has already spent, they have the permits done, so they have spent spent a neighborhood 70,000 or 80,000 to make their basements compliant, it's already compliant. They have to go through that, the whole redundant inspections again and again. So moreover, and when we dealt into the details, there was some acknowledgements and some consent. They call as the city is calling as a consent, but that's not a true consent because it's a forced approach, so which is unconstitutional. So these are the certain things because where the petition come into the picture. I would definitely like to highlight to educate our Brampton resident, because the main purpose of this petition is not to be compromise any health and safety, and we are only advocating the legal apartments and we want the illegal dwellings. But right now this particular program is stepping into the privacy of the landlords and privacy of the tenants. It is not only impacting the landlords, it is also breaching the privacy and the human rights code of the tenants. If I will simply explain that, because the earlier version, because right now on the City of Brampton site that is not available, but we have already the downloaded bylaws and also the renter license application. In that one there was asking for the consent that city can landlord has to give the consent. It's a forced consent because you cannot opt the no, because your application cannot be submitted if you are not selecting that button. So it's a forced consent. So in that consent, that because city bylaw officers can do the inspection with and without notice. According to the Municipal Act, the 386, the city can come to your land, they can go in your backyard, they can look at that without notice, not a problem. But they cannot enter to the dwelling unless there is any emergency. The similar kind of the provision into the Residential Tenancy Act as well, right? So we need to be very city has to be understand that when you are calling it a business, it's not a true business, it is a living accommodation, because right now the tenant is living, because we cannot breach, because even I'm a landlord, right? I'm a compliant, I don't have any issue with that. I can give the consent that okay, because city, first of all, they cannot come without notice unless there is any life-threatening emergencies, right? If the city still want to come because they can come with my consent. Let's suppose if they will ask me the forced consent, which is unconstitutional, because that's my first biggest reason because why we are going after the city, because they cannot ask for to force consent. So, and even I'm giving the forced consent, right? So still that consent doesn't make any effect, because when it is a rental unit and city acknowledge that, city knows that this is a rental licensing, so it means the unit they're gonna be coming to inspect where the tenant will be living. So tenant has its own rights. Tenant has a Residential Tenancy Act come into the play where their section 26, 27 we are referring it. Still, even the landlord or the city, they cannot visit their property without their consent. So without notice is not justifiable. So that is the another thing, because then we are also talking from the city is enforcing the 4 max unrelated. So let's be very clear of that. We are not supporting the overcrowding. Personally, when we are speaking it and we are in the protest who are against this ARRL, 99% of the landlords who never support the overcrowding.
Raviji, overcrowding, if we talk about the overflowing of garbages, 25 students in one basement, as Mayor Brown quoted that. So you don't agree with this overcrowding basements. Yes. So then city said that's why we are implementing this RRL. So what is the difference in that? Okay, so that is exactly what I was going for that. So when we are talking from the 25 that the incident was portrayed, personally, I was saying that this is a political stunt and that is played at the right time and to mislead the Brampton resident, because I have sent an email to the City Hall day that announcement was made, or when in the interview that was mentioned by the Patrick Brown, there was a 25 and took the media attention and everybody is talking about that. Because what I was looking for the media to ask that questions, which I personally sent an email to the City Hall. What is that question?
The questions was that how the city came to know that, I mean, what are the bylaws in the place? Because right now the RRL is not there. So in that cases, there are the bylaws into the place where the enforcement officer or the fire codes are there, right? So the fire marshals came into the notice of that. So that bylaws, existing bylaws.
So you mean to say, like, what action city took on those 25 students, those who were, whether with the consent of the landlord? So what the action city took? Because there was one news in 2018-19 also of the similar kind.
Yeah, so I mean, yeah, somebody is brought it in our attention that there is a similar kind of the news that 25 people. So that's why it's become a speculated, because are we talking about the recent one or we are talking from the 2019? Because we don't have the proof of that. So I mean, I would.
Because Mayor Brown cleared that this is a recent one.
Okay, so I mean, right now, because our question is that, because I mean, we are asking from the city, it is portraying only in that how the city is telling that it is the landlord is bad. Right? Everything is fine. We really want from the city that they have to give the concrete answer when these people were they living with the landlord consent or without landlord consent? If it is without landlord consent, what was the city's course of actions to address that kind of the incident, right? Where the city has any kind of the authority to evict it, or they have already made some provision under some circumstances for the considering the health and safety. City made some arrangement to be take that people to the put in the somewhere accommodation, right? So I mean, whether their eviction is a one thing, now we have to take care of the health and safety.
Okay. Ravi ji, I'll come back to you and I'll ask you after that. First, we'll go to Azad ji, that what is your main points in the petition? Are you appealing for the repeal of this, or you are asking for amendments? Because city already asking that amendments are coming soon. So we will come to you after Azad ji. Azad ji, you know city well, you know Mayor Brown well. So why don't we sit across the tables, talk to the councillors, talk to the city, instead of protesting in the parks or roads? Why don't we can go that way too?
Nitin, that I know that's a very, very good question you have asked. So we, the Brampton residents who are against this RRL, we love to have, if the both parties, the city sit together with us and resolve all the concern. We are the law-abiding citizens of Brampton. We don't support overcrowding. We don't support littering on our house, our premises or in the street. We don't want to compromise the property standards. The very first question, we want to tell everybody who is watching it and when this reel will go to the other people, that we don't support the illegal dwellings. I asked city many times, rather than bringing this RRL, because your main concern is the non-compliant dwellings. I will say it's not illegal, it's a non-compliant dwellings. Why don't you bring a project which is motivating the people who has the non-compliant dwellings to make them compliant? Because RRL, all the units, because when this program was started, it was started for the legal dwellings. Because if the dwelling is not compliant, you cannot apply for a license.
So you mean to say, instead of RRL, let's make all basements legal in Brampton? Yes. That what you are saying?
City should bring a pilot project
in
one or two hours where this program is started, to convert all the non-compliant dwellings. You say people are saying illegal, I will say non-compliant dwelling to compliant. So we would love to. We want the city to make our city beautiful again, because now the Brampton has, so people are hearing too much, sometimes the people are calling Brampton is bad, Brampton is bad. No, Brampton is good. It's only the enforcement and the people who are making the bylaws, who are just governing the city, they should listen to the people. Because in this RRL project, hardly there was any public consultation.
So are you ready to sit on a table with the councillors, Kenan and Ravina Santos and Mayor Brown, to discuss and give your suggestions on that?
Want to talk to everyone, not only 3 or 4 councillors.
So far, did you sat with them?
Yeah, I talked to one to one, but still they were saying, oh, this program is not going anywhere. Okay. You can talk, but this program is not going anywhere. When you are saying this program is not going anywhere, it means that you don't want to talk. You don't want to compromise. You don't want to listen to the concern of...
In one of your statement, you also said that we have the bylaws. Bylaws already exist. So what is the need of RRL then? So what is that?
So that's what I asked him all the time. I asked Ravina Santos, I asked Dennis Kenan too, and I talked to Paul Vicente too. What this new tool you will get with this RRL? Because we have already the existing bylaws. If the overcrowding is there, like the Mayor Brown is giving some reference to that one, so we already have them. The fire department has gone there.
Okay, Azadji. Raviji, when we have already the bylaws, so how come this RRL will be different than the bylaws which we have for the lodging houses?
So already, because in my delegation, because that's what I mentioned it, because already because there is no change into the property by standards, because all property standards are there, all bylaws are there. In the application, there was a one section because it was asking the landlord to have the acknowledgement that these are the bylaws will be applied. So all these the bylaws are the existing bylaws, right? So I mean that was our question, because the bylaws are already there. So a few years ago, city has started hired the dedicated enforcement officers, a team, or where they were cracking down the non-compliant basement, or we call it the illegal basements. And it means on what authority they were doing it. It means these bylaws were there, and that's why under that authority they were doing it, right? So we were asking that question because what is the necessity? Because right now there was one of the council was telling that sometimes the people say that we are not aware of the law. And so like this is the whole thing is multi-million-dollar project is only to having the acknowledgement. If you want the acknowledgement, for sure, because I agree with that, because if the people are saying that because they are not aware of that, it's our duty to make the awareness, right? So to making that awareness on the yearly basis, open up the portal, let everybody to be acknowledged that these are the bylaws and it has to be followed.
So are you ready to sit with the city and the councillors to discuss on the table to resolve this issue?
Absolutely, and we have requested for that, and we are looking forward for that, and even I have sent that email, and I'm open for the invite of that.
Open for the discussion,
Yes, Nitinji, we are from the very first day, we are open, we are very open, we want to talk, but we want a two-way communication. Like at the city hall, we went for the delegation, and when the people were delegating, their boarding language was not good towards the delegates, So that gives a very, very, very bad name. So we need the two-way communication. Like we have to ask them, they have to ask us, and the city staff should be there too, so that we both can work together and how to bring a conclusion what the changes should be, whether the RRL is the need of the time or there is some other project we have to bring to make the city beautiful.
Raviji, many councillors, because people were saying that where in the wards where we have the Punjabi councillors, they don't have RRL in their wards. It's quite shocking to us when we hear that. And many councillors behind the camera, they say this is wrong, and why don't they come in front and talk on that too?
Sorry, because I think because I'm not in a position to be comment on the behalf of any councillors if they are saying it, because I don't have the personally and in person, because they have mentioned me about that. So I would see that because that thing has to be justified by that councillors, and I wouldn't comment on that.
Okay. And I want to add here, why the pilot project only in 5 wards? The pilot project should be only in 1 or 2 wards, and then see the result, and then you can decide whether it's implementable in whole city. So why shouldn't the city apply this one in whole city? Okay. Not in the 5 wards. Let's come in the 10 wards, then get the consultation with the people of Brampton. We have the 700,000 plus.
Yes. So you are hoping, because as the program is paused, so they will come with the amendments, and what they will come with?
I will say no, they should not come with the amendment. They should come with the concrete stuff, how we can change the non-compliant unit to the compliant unit, because mainly their concern are overcrowding and then the property standards and the garbage overflowing. So this problem is everywhere. This is not only few wards. So why don't we just bring a program, work together, forget about RRL, how we can make our city beautiful.
So Raviji, you started the petition. Now, do you have any concerns on this RRL, because people are protesting in the parks? Other side, the city paused the program. What is your now concern?
As I mentioned that earlier as well, so because when we put the petitions, that was on a version of the January 1st, there was a financial burden, and after that there was a redundant inspections, because legal and illegals, they were put into the same bucket. There was a no distinguish, because it was applicable for both legal and illegals, right, in the same way. So, and after that there was unconstitutional approaches for the forced consents, and also there was such acknowledgements and such what I can say that because city want us landlords to be bind and to acknowledge to the certain rules which will breaching the human rights code of the tenant and landlord, and it will also have the conflict with the Residential Tenancy Act and the Municipal Act as well. And so we also refer to the Waterloo, City of Waterloo's licensing programs Human Rights Commission's report, and there was a similar kind of some clauses were there, and that was already the Commission has gave the recommendations to the Waterloo, and in the Waterloo all the penalties are on the pause. Because of that, these are unconstitutional approaches, cannot be forced.
Okay, Azad ji.
Nitin ji, when we were at the city hall, first let me tell the city, respect the delegates and listen to them, not to laugh at them and don't make a fun of them. At city hall and in some interviews, it was mentioned that slum landlords, all the residents who were in the protest at Gormeadow Center, and all the residents who participated in the city hall meeting on January 31st, all were compliant. Those are not slum landlords. We are the compliant landlords. We respect the law. We are law-abiding citizens of Canada. So we are not slum landlords.
So Ravi ji, you also objected to the word slum landlords. So what does that mean?
When somebody is in the position of power, and the person must use the word wisely, because these residents elected them, because we cannot generalize everybody and start using these kind of the words, because I will refrain to be very honest to use that kind of the word, because we are in Canada. Canada is not the third world country, right? So, when that is portraying the bad picture, because when the city hall or the city officials are themselves as portraying the bad picture of the Brampton instead of the national media and all over the Canada, it is bad. I think they have to be think of that. But I will tell you the very honest message, that doesn't matter like how much somebody scream anywhere, we will not turn blind. If somebody is stepping into our rights and they are breaching the privacies or the human rights code, if it will be happening, we will fight until the breath, when the legal grounds, and we will keep it doing it, because that's my democratic right. If somebody will comment on that kind of the thing, that is not a political game, because we will not be come into the trap of that political games, and because we are not the politicians and we are the residents, and we are advocating. As of now, I have launched that petitions. There are the 7,400 people who have signed it. So it means I am carrying the trust of that the 7,400 people. If somebody is going to be generalized that the whole resident, it's not appreciable, and nobody is appreciating it. So I think
So you are the petitioner. You both agree to sit with the city across the table to discuss the points, and to that you both agree on the amendments or repealing or whatever the best solution for the residents. You both agree. You both agree that these needs to be addressed. What you said, that 7,400 people signed. You both agree that there should not be a single illegal basement in the Brampton. You both agree the overflowing or garbage is wrong. You both agree that 25 students in one basement is wrong, and what city, the action by the city is being taken. You were saying something.
Yeah, Nitin, that's right. We are, as we told, we are the law-abiding citizen, and whatever the city concern were, we definitely agree with that. Those concerns are not the good concern, but we don't know how this RRL will solve those concerns, because as we said, we have already the existing bylaws. What special tool we have not so far get the answer from any of the city council members. So how this RRL will change new? We already have everything. That's why, when there were 25 people, the fire department, where they went there, whatever the penalty they did, they did. So we have the existing bylaws. Why this RRL? What special tools are there?
Ravi ji, we got few questions from the community members. Like, if a landlords want to make their illegal property legal, but cannot remove the tenants due to the LTB Act, why should the landlord be responsible for paying the fees?
See this, because this is a very complicated situation, right? First of all, as I said that from the day one, from the petitions until the delegation till now, right, we don't support the illegal basements, right? If somebody was operating that one, so we are urging everyone to come forward and to convert into the compliant basements, because that is the right way to do to rent that stuff. Yes, because these are the things we are asking the city to sit with, that find the resolutions, right? You cannot solve these things with the hammer, because on the one-sided discussions cannot come to the solutions.
Okay. Azad ji, next question we got from the public, if you can address that. What can a landlord do if a tenant brings in more people to live there illegally and the landlord cannot remove them due to the delays in tribunal? How will the city address these issues? Like, did you ask the city?
We asked them, if I bring the 5 people and 10 or 15 people are staying there, will city, if we just register for this RRL, will city have the power to evict them? City said before they were not confirmed, and finally they said no, we cannot evict them. Yes. So what's the purpose of the RRL? If we have to get the tenant out, we have to go to the Ontario Landlord Tenant Board. So what this RRL will bring, it will complicate more and more.
Okay.
I will continue with this one, because this is a very interesting point, right? I mean, we need to understand that, because when the landlord is operating a business, landlord can only operate according to the Residential Tenancy Act. Yes. If we are looking for the RTA 10, it is saying that because landlord can use the minimum set of criteria to find the potential tenant. One of them was that we cannot ask that how many people will be living. Right? There is an overcrowding, yes, because if there will be overcrowding is not defined as a specific number, right? So if the city is saying that the number, so that is not defined over there, it's not enforceable by the landlord, right? And other thing is that because Ontario Human Rights Commission is saying that, because according to the recommendation of a room is available for everyone, under the human grounds, neither landlord nor city can scrutinize the tenants to sharing their rooms. So they can share the rooms on the basis of their relationship, on the basis of their age, of the sexual orientations, right? So if these are the restrictions are there, so that's the human rights of the tenants. We cannot breach it, because they cannot put landlord into the situation so that if there is a tenant, they can definitely take the legal actions against the landlord, right? So landlord can easily lose their properties, right? So we need to educate everyone, because we are not that we are saying that because we want to be put so many people. That is the examples how the landlords are portrayed with a 25 basement type of thing. That's not, that is just a political stunt of that, right? That's a bad situation. I'm saying that should not happen, but we don't know the other side of the picture over that. What is the city role, whether they were living with the landlord consent or not, because that's a very important to be understand.
Ravi ji, 1st January RRL program started in Brampton, and in less than a month, it is paused. So means that city is listening is because of the protest or because of the petition? Because it seems, if we take a positive side, that city is listening what your petition is, what you are protesting. They are listening. They will come up with something good.
See, if we just say about the people are giving the name of the protest is that, right? So we started the petition on the 9th of the January, and after the 2 weeks, because criminal check certificate was there, since then we did not have any kind of the open in-person meeting. Okay. There was an online meeting was there. There was no protest, nothing at all. So it means the city has already acknowledged by the petition. Okay. I would say that the petitions made that impact, right? So whether city acknowledged or not, but that was the impact, right? Okay. So because that petition has a black and white, right? So it's nothing is hidden over there. Yes. We are pointed out that we just showing the mirror that what the RRL is.
So now its program is on pause. Do you think that city is on a positive role? They are making amendments, or they will come up with some more points into that? What from your suggestions too?
I appreciate that, because they put in a pause, because this is a positive direction. But still, we are saying that, see, I am a taxpayer. Here, right? So when I'm saying I'm a taxpayer, because anything is happening at the city hall, any penny the city hall is spending it, yes. It is our money, right?
It should be accountable.
Yeah, it should be accountable. We are saying that because if we sit, unless we will not sit on the table,
Yes.
we will not have the bidirectional communication, we will not able to understand each other. All the communication right now is happening, it's only the one directional.
Yes.
Somebody is coming on a media, we go on a media, and we see that whole thing. Delegation, that was not a bidirectional, right? That's again a one directional thing.
Yes. So, Ravi ji, thank you very much. Azad ji, final words from you.
You know, I will ask the city, you know, we are talking, you are listening, you are talking, we are listening. Why don't you come forward? Come together. We are ready to talk. We are ready to resolve. If this, let me tell you, if you convince us this RRL is good for Brampton, it will resolve all the concern and it won't violate any privacy or, you know, human right code and Ontario Residential Tenant Act. Yes, come on. We will support you if this is good for the Brampton. We are not against you. We want this RRL if it's good, let's take it. If it's not good, take it back. Don't be egoistic like the Doug Ford government. When there was a separation of Peel region, the province took the U-turn. So it means it was not for the benefit of Mississauga, Brampton or Caledon. So it's same way, if this RRL is not good for Brampton, it's not resolving any issue and it's complicating more and more and it's violating the statutes, why don't you take it back? If it's good, we'll take it.
Thank you very much. Thank you for both of you coming and discussing this important issue.
Thank you very much for having us.
Thank you.
ਸੋ ਆ ਸੀਗੇ ਜਿਨ੍ਹਾਂ ਨੇ ਪੈਟੀਸ਼ਨ ਪਾਈ ਹੈ RRL ਦੇ ਅਗੇਂਸਟ। ਸੋ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਦੀ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਸਜੈਸ਼ਨਸ ਹੈ ਉਹ ਵੀ ਸੁਣਨੀ ਚਾਹੀਦੀ ਹੈ ਔਰ 7400 ਤੋਂ ਵੱਧ ਸਿਗਨੇਚਰ ਹੋ ਚੁੱਕੇ ਆ RRL ਦੀ ਪੈਟੀਸ਼ਨ ਦੇ ਉੱਪਰ। ਸਿਟੀ ਔਰ ਜੋ ਅਗੇਂਸਟ ਉਹਦੇ ਕਰ ਰਹੇ RRL ਦੇ ਬੈਠ ਕੇ ਇਹਨੂੰ ਰਿਜ਼ੋਲਵ ਕਰਨਾ ਚਾਹੀਦਾ ਹੈ ਬਿਕੋਜ਼ ਐਵਰੀਥਿੰਗ ਸਿੰਗਲ ਪੈਨੀ ਮੈਟਰਸ ਇਨ ਬ੍ਰੈਂਪਟਨ, everybody should be accountable। ਸੋ ਜੋ ਵੀ ਉਹਦਾ ਕੰਕਰੀਟ ਸਜੈਸ਼ਨਸ ਹੈ ਉਹ ਸਾਹਮਣੇ ਆਣੇ ਚਾਹੀਦੇ, ਟਾਊਨ ਹਾਲ ਹੋਣੀ ਚਾਹੀਦੀ ਹੈ, ਰੈਜ਼ੀਡੈਂਟਸ ਦੀ ਇਨਪੁਟ ਲੈਣੀ ਚਾਹੀਦੀ ਹੈ, ਕਾਉਂਸਲਰਸ ਨੂੰ ਸਾਹਮਣੇ ਆਉਣਾ ਚਾਹੀਦਾ ਹੈ ਔਰ ਜੋ ਵੀ ਬਣਦਾ ਕਦਮ ਹੈ ਉਹ ਚੁੱਕਣਾ ਚਾਹੀਦਾ ਹੈ ਬਿਕੋਜ਼ ਐਵਰੀ ਵੌਇਸ ਮੈਟਰਸ।